We're back, finally. And here's my 4-year, 80,000 mile update on my TRD Pro. Everyone, I really apologize for this. I know it's been almost 2 years since I've done an update on my TRD Pro Toyota Tacoma, but we're back. I kind of had to take a little, rearrange my life a little bit with COVID. I had to spend a lot more time on my business, keeping it afloat during these last few tough years. But now everything's great. We're coming out on top. We're better than ever. And I'm getting back into reviewing the TRD Pro. Before we get started, I just want to show you a few things I've added to the truck since the last review. We've added a new rack. Now this is just to give us a little bit more space. Like most of you know, I sleep in the back of this truck. So now instead of me storing stuff in the back, it's just gonna go on the top. So if I pull up late somewhere, I don't have to unpack anything and just go right to bed. I've added a little bit of support to the bed of the truck to help hold the camper shell together. I was at the Grand Canyon about a year ago and we were trying to outrun a storm. I was taking a road a little too quick, and as you can see here, I damaged my camper shell. So now with these supports, that won't happen again. This is a little DIY project. I built a little lockbox in the back seat of this truck just to lock up my camera gear. I never actually leave any camera gear in there for long periods of time, but just a little safety to have something locked up. You can't just break a window and get to my camera gear. Here's a link to that video of me actually building it if you want to see that. All in all, the truck's been great so far. I mean, I have a few little complaints, which I'll get to later on, but really as a whole, everything I've asked this truck to do, it's done it, and it's done it well. And it's become so beloved by me and my crew, we actually named it. This truck is now named Bort. Not to say it doesn't have any weaknesses, but you know, those weaknesses kind of make it a little bit more human and in a way kind of more beloved. But anyway, on to it. Being a 2018 model, it was kind of known for searching for gears. And I have noticed it, it's not a big deal to me. You really only kind of feel it when you're at higher altitudes and you're going up a pretty steep hill. Otherwise, it doesn't bother me. For those out there who it really does bother, I have noticed when you put 91 octane into the truck, it lessens that searching for gears. Now, a big surprise for this truck for me was how long the tires last. And these are just the stock tires, the Wrangler Goodyear all-terrain tires that it comes with, the Kevlar protection on the side. These lasted 75,000 miles. These are the new ones, I just put these on. But the other ones, I couldn't believe it, 75,000 miles. Now, again, I always use this disclaimer in my videos. 80% of my driving this truck is on long highway drives. So I'm sure that had a big influence on that. But still, to be able to last 75,000 miles, still be somewhat decent off-road in the mud and stuff like that is pretty bad at the end. But still, 75,000 miles on one pair of tires, they were still doing fine. They were balding, but 75,000 miles, that's pretty incredible. There have been 3 recalls on this truck, which haven't been too bad. The first one was for a front sensor for braking. That was fixed during an oil change, so no big deal. The second one was a big one. It was for the gas pump. There was something that was cutting out. They had to change that out. That took about 4 or 5 hours. Not the end of the world. Of course, they did it for free. The third one is actually for a leaky tail light, but since I have a camper shell on it, they can't actually fix it without taking the camper shell off. So that's just gonna have to, it is what it is. An unhappy thing about this truck though that really did surprise me was how much the maintenance is becoming on this thing. I know it's getting older, again, 80,000 miles, but each time now, and tell me, please comment in the comments below if you're having something similar to this. Now when I'm taking it into my Toyota dealerships, I only take it to dealerships, the maintenance guy or whatever you want to call him sits me down and says, okay, here are your options. Here are the must-dos. Here are what we recommended. This is to keep your truck in tip-top performance. And I've been kind of going with the tip-top performance because, you know, sometimes I'm hours away from the nearest paved road. I want this truck to always be at tip performance, so to speak. Top performance. But it's getting expensive. Way back when the truck was younger, I do understand that.
it was 50, 60 bucks, you know, maintenance, change the oil, that was it. But now I'm going in and it's $200, $300, $400 each time I take this in for maintenance. And I take it in every 5,000 miles. And now that COVID, well, hopefully COVID's kind of coming to an end, I'm driving this a lot more. So this is adding up. When I had the 70,000 mile maintenance check, and I think, don't quote me on that, but I think that's the big one for at least the Tacomas, it cost me $1,000. And I understand they did the whole spark plugs, they bled the brakes, they did everything to it, new windshield wipers, all that. I understand that. It's just now that each time I take it in, it's $300, $400, $500 just for maintenance on this thing. So please, if you know more about this, I mean, I'm not mechanically inclined, so to speak. I can change my own oil. But yeah, please comment down below if I'm getting ripped off, if I don't need to do the performance one, if maybe just do the standard or even just keep the truck running. Please let me know. And this has happened. I've taken it to 3 different dealerships and they all kind of different ways, but each time again, $300, $400, $500 maintenance on that truck. It's adding up. And that was a big surprise. I didn't expect that with this truck. I mean, this truck is older, but it's becoming more expensive to maintain this truck than my 3 Series BMW, and that just sounds a little weird to me. I did speak to a head mechanic who had no affiliation with Toyota, and he did say, if you spend the money now, you'll save it later. So maybe it is what it is. So now, like in all my videos, I gotta mention the Tacoma squeak. Now, if you haven't seen my first videos, I used to really complain about this. It seemed really, really bad when I first got the truck. Now I'm not sure if it's getting better or if I don't notice it much, but it really doesn't bother me anymore. And it's kind of nice now when I'm out with my friends in the Jeeps and my buddy who has the Raptor same year, their squeak is far more noticeable than this one is now. So take it as it is. It bothered me in the beginning. It doesn't bother me at all now. Now, hands down, the best thing about this truck is its amazing reliability. The only thing that's not fully reliable though in this truck is the entertainment system. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Toyota issue or an Apple iPhone issue, but ever since about 2 years ago, updating my phone, I can't really connect Bluetooth to this truck. And as you can see here, the phone is connected, but I'll push audio and I cannot connect play with my phone. And this has been kind of annoying in the way too, I can't accept calls. And the only way to really fix this is to turn off the phone and turn it back on, and turn off the truck and turn that back on. And this happens once or twice a month. So this is pretty frequent that this is happening. And that's a bit frustrating for me because I do a lot of business on the road and I need to be able to contact someone while I'm driving because a lot of the time I'm driving. So that's been frustrating, but I did take it into the dealership to say, hey, can you fix this or what needs to be done phone-wise, Toyota-wise, whatever it needs to be. The technician told me, oh, no problem, we just need to update your system. So I'm all great. But I started talking to the guy about it, and he couldn't promise me that if it updated, I wouldn't lose all the information I have saved on here. And that's a big deal for me because I have a bunch of little spots that I found that are gorgeous places to take photographs. While I was driving the truck, I would set it up in the navigation. And it would take me days really to go through, write down all the coordinates of these spaces. And I'm really kind of annoyed at Toyota for this, to not think that through. Now, again, let's go back to the comment section. If you know it does work and it stays, let me know. This technician just couldn't promise me and said it might be wiped out completely. Time to get those comments rolling in. Like in all my videos, I talk about the MPG I've been getting in this truck. Disclaimer, again, I drive mostly on highway with it. But as you can see here, we're down a little bit. We're down to 22 miles per gallon, whereas we average around 24 or 25. And that is, again, because we haven't been out a lot. The truck's been little local trips here and there, so a lot more city driving. That's why we're down to about 22. Other than that, this truck has been pretty much flawless. I mean, you can see how well the interior is holding up after 80,000 miles. Just a little bit of wear and tear on the seat, the doors, and the armrest where the seats move back and forth. Consistently, we ask this thing to drive 10, 11, 13 hours on the highway. Then after that, we make it drive, 2 or 3 hours off-road, dirt roads, back roads, to where I want to try to capture a photograph. We've never had any issues. It just does a lot so well. It's one of those great things where, and I've mentioned it in my previous videos, putting it through all the hell we put it through, nothing's really broken. We just have a little problem with the entertainment system, but that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please hit subscribe, give us a like. Now that COVID's coming to an end, fingers crossed, we're gonna be doing a lot more of these truck video, photography videos, all kinds of stuff. We're back on the road now. So thank you guys again for your continued support. I know it's been so long. I do apologize again for that, but we're back at it again, and we'll be doing a lot more videos here in the near future. Cheers.